Look, we're living through one of the biggest economic shifts in, well, ever. And with any huge shift like this, you get these brand new, incredibly valuable opportunities popping up. So let's just dive right in because we're going to break down 3 skills that companies are already starting to get desperate for.
Yep, that's the number. We're talking $500,000 a year. By 2027, there are going to be people earning this kind of money for skills that, honestly, barely even exist today. And the window to get in on the ground floor? It is wide open right now.
And let's be super clear about who I'm talking about. This isn't for some vice president at a big AI lab or a tech exec who's been in the game for 30 years. No, this is about regular people, people like you and me, who just see which way the wind is blowing and decide to learn the right thing at exactly the right time.
And this is really the bottom line. The folks who take the time to master these new skills, they're basically going to write their own ticket. They'll have their pick of the best jobs, the best projects, but the ones who don't, well, they're going to find themselves in a job market that's getting more and more crowded. The choice is becoming pretty stark.
Okay, so let's get into skill number 1, and I'm willing to bet it's something you've probably never heard of before. It's called agent orchestration. You can think of this as leveling up from just using AI to actually managing an entire team of AIs. Right now, most of us use AI like a simple tool, right? You open an app, you type something in, you get something back. Agent orchestration is a whole different ballgame. It's about building a team of specialized AI agents. Maybe one's a research specialist, another's a great writer, a third one codes, and you design the system that lets them all work together, totally on their own, to achieve some big, complicated goal.
Here's the best way to think about it. Using a single AI tool is kind of like using a calculator. It's super helpful for one specific task. But agent orchestration, that's like being the CEO of a company where all your employees are AI. You're the one setting the goals, you're designing the workflows, you're deciding how the research agent's work gets handed off to the writing agent. You're the strategist behind the whole operation.
So, the big question, of course, is why? Why is that CEO of AI's role so incredibly valuable? What makes that a $500,000 skill?
Well, let's just break down the economics, because it's pretty simple. A single person who can build a team of AI agents to handle, say, marketing analysis and content creation is delivering the value of what used to be a 10 or even 20-person human team. And that system you built, it works around the clock, 24/7, and never gets tired. But here's the kicker. You don't need a computer science degree for this. It's about systems thinking. And since it's brand new, almost nobody is learning how to do it yet. All right, on to skill number 2. As these AI systems get more and more powerful, we run into a really tricky new problem. How do we, the humans, actually collaborate with them effectively and safely? And that is where AI-human interface design comes in. Now, this is so much more than just designing what a screen looks like. We're talking about designing the entire process of collaboration. It's part psychology, part user experience, and part engineering. It's really about figuring out the fundamental rules of engagement between a human expert and their AI counterpart.
And these are the kinds of massive questions a designer in this field has to answer. At what point does the AI have to stop and say, hey, I need a human to sign off on this? How does it show you that it's only 70% sure about an answer? And maybe, most importantly, how do you design a system that prevents people from just blindly trusting everything the AI says? That's a real thing. It's called automation bias, and it's a huge, huge problem.
As you can tell, the stakes for getting this right are incredibly high. So why does that translate into such a massive salary?
Well, to put it bluntly, the companies that figure out this human-AI collaboration thing are going to absolutely dominate their markets. The ones that mess it up, they're looking at total operational disasters, huge financial losses, and they could even cause serious real-world harm. So you better believe that the handful of people who actually know how to design these systems are going to be fought over by every major company on the planet.
Okay, that brings us to our third and final skill. And this one might be the most surprising. It isn't about building AI at all. It's about making it safe. It's a role called AI safety translation, and it's the absolutely critical bridge between the research lab and the real world.
You see, right now, there's this huge gap. Over here, you have brilliant researchers writing super dense academic papers about AI safety. And way over here, you have product teams trying to build actual apps. The translator is the person who can stand in the middle. They can read that dense research, truly understand it, and then turn it into simple, practical rules and design choices that a product team can actually understand and use. So,
Why is a translator suddenly worth so much money? Well, the demand for this skill is absolutely exploding because of three massive forces that are all hitting at the exact same time.
First, you've got regulation. Things like the EU AI Act are just the beginning. Companies need people who can read those laws and translate them into product specs. Second, liability. When an AI messes up and causes damage, companies are going to get sued. Being able to prove you took safety seriously will be a core part of your legal defense. And third, and maybe the biggest one, trust. Customers are getting smarter, and they're going to choose the products from companies that can prove their AI is safe and reliable. Trust is becoming the ultimate competitive edge.
Whew. Okay, so we've talked about the what, and we've talked about the why. Now, let's get to the most important part. How on earth do you actually start learning this stuff? Today.
For agent orchestration, the path is actually pretty clear. You start by becoming an expert in the tools we have now. Really learn what they're good at, and more importantly, what they're bad at. Then, start playing with automation tools like Zapier or Make to string them together. Build a simple two-step system, then a three-step one. The key is just to start building and get into the online communities where the real pioneers are sharing what they're learning.
For AI human interface design, you need to go back to basics. Study the fundamentals of human-computer interaction. Really get your head around cognitive biases, especially automation bias. A fantastic place to learn is from other industries, like aviation, that have been dealing with human automation problems for decades. And then, just start designing. Sketch out ideas, even on paper, and test them.
And for AI safety translation, start reading the research papers coming out of places like DeepMind and OpenAI. But don't just read them, practice explaining them. Grab a friend who's not in tech and see if you can explain a complex safety idea in simple terms. If you're already working with AI, start being the person who raises the tough safety questions. Build a reputation for spotting risks before they turn into disasters.
You know, the one common thread through all three of these is urgency. These aren't established fields where you can go get a 4-year degree. They are literally being born as we speak. The people who will be the sought-after $500,000 experts in 2027 are the ones who are quietly starting to build their skills today. And that $500,000 salary, it might sound insane, but when you really think about it, in a world where a single person with the right orchestration skills can deliver the value of a 20-person team, it's not crazy at all. It's just math.
The future AI economy isn't something that's coming soon. It's here. It's happening right now. So the only question that really matters is the one on your screen. Which one of these skills are you going to start building first? Because the future really does belong to those who start today.